All right, so black-white enchantments here. This is a bit of a brew. Let's take a look. Start by taking a look at some of our payoffs here. So we have Cacophony here. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile an enchantment card from your graveyard. If you do, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. We've got some Archons of Sun's Grace here. At the very top end of our curve, whenever enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you get a Pegasus, and then it gives all of your Pegasus lifelink. We've got Heliod, because we have a lot of things in our deck that incidentally gain life. Both Life's Bounty and Hateful Eidolon here at the bottom of our curve have lifelink. We've got All That Glitters here as a way to power up our threats overall. We've got some Othakaya here as a method of having a little bit of removal. That's also an enchantment as well. So let's go ahead and dive into some matches here and see how it goes. One thing that I think might be worth considering in this build is perhaps Tiamat Calls the Dead. Could be worth playing. But we'll see. I believe the goal of this deck is to be lower to the ground prime. So rather than trying to grind things out with expensive cards like Elspeth Conqueror's Death, we're trying to attack people. Probably has more parallels to something like the green-white aggro enchantments that we've played a little bit of, rather than the decks that go a little bit bigger. Hateful Eidolon in conjunction with Sentinel's Eyes is pretty sweet. Because Sentinel Eyes is an enchantment that comes back again and again and again. I think I'm bottoming this at this point, though, because there's a good chance that this dies. And I kind of just want to draw another threat. Just Guy Bio, please, my good sir. Thanks, Beansy. I appreciate the support. Alright, so rather than try and cast Sentinel's Eyes into a removal spell here, I'm going to lead on Heliod. Because I think if they have a removal spell, they're going to play it before Heliod pumps this up. Did I ever play D&D? Not for a long time. When I was an undergrad, the people I lived with and I played D&D a whole heck of a lot. But that was, to give context, that was back when, like, 3.5. The last time I played D&D, 4th edition had just released. To give context on how long it's been since I've played D&D. Kind of surprised that just resolved. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to, I missed an attack that way. Oh, so they just let me draw a card? They must not have realized what my card did. And just like, let me draw a card for no reason. Deal a Reno. Let's start by attacking for 2 and see where we go. Pirates isn't a deck. No, all those cards rotated with Ixalan. And then it's not very competitive in Historic either. Oh, they milled me. Thank you. I was going to run out of enchantments here soon. That's exciting. That's exciting. Thanks, opponent. I appreciate you. I didn't believe all those bad things your previous opponents said about you. Not having white sources kind of sucks here, though. Yeah, they played Didn't Say Please here. One thing that is tough for this deck is this deck basically never gets to turn Heliod into a creature. When you cast your first spell during each opponent's turn, draw a card. We played Pioneer this morning and yesterday morning, Mr. Thinker. The quality of the games that we played yesterday morning and this morning were quite awful. Pioneer's not been very particularly enjoyable lately. Do they not realize this is how this works? Maybe they didn't know this can stop Brazen Borrower. It's very possible. And now, like, not only do I counter their Brazen Borrower, but, like, I keep my zombie through their Cutthroat. Yeah, I'm only doing one Pioneer deck per day, Mr. Thinker, just because I can't really drag myself to do more than that, because the format's a pretty big slog. Hey, Kadrakari, thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Oh, I forgot to give, like, because neither of them had lifelink, Time Lord. I forgot to give lifelink, you're right. I don't think they're gonna fix it, Mr. Thinker. I think if you're expecting them to fix Pioneer, you're just gonna be incredibly frustrated and sad. Speaking as someone who's been hurt with Modern for many, many years now and eventually just gave up on it, I feel like Pioneer is probably, like, if they have more than enough data, if they didn't want Pioneer to have turned into Modern 2.0, they would have done something by now. I think I had enough mana to lifelink the tokens. I don't remember now, but I'm pretty sure I did. It's too early in the morning. I'm just preparing you for the harsh reality. If you wanna pick me up, Bloomberg got dumpstered in the debate last night, so that was a pleasant happenstance. If you need something to smile about. Using politics, that is true. It's been a hot second since we had some just, like, truly delicious positive news out of that politically related, but Bloomberg getting dumpstered last night and just showing that, like, buying your way onto the debate stage doesn't make you qualified to be there, especially when you have a record as heinous as him. It was pleasant, to say the least. I think I want these blessings, maybe Othakai is fine. Do I want these Agonizing Remorse to maybe cut through their counter spells? It's always tough to sideboard in more synergy-based decks like this, because it's like, well, what synergy pieces am I picking apart? Heliod seems not stellar. Maybe All That Glitters is a trim here because it, All All That Glitters could be a trim because they have a lot of removal. Let's try this. You worry about... Yeah, Warren really stepped up last night. Definitely still voting for Bernie in the primary, but... Yeah, Stacey Abrams was talking up Michael Bloomberg, so lost a lot of respect for her. So probably not going to be a VP pick if Sanders wins. Bloomberg pumped money into her campaign. I think it was The View that she was on. It was on some talk show, some morning show, I believe. It was disappointing to say the least. I think I'm just passing at this point without another white source. I think I'm just supposed to hold up these blessings. I don't really think it matters if Warren's the best. I don't think she's appealing to enough people. Based on how the first two states went, like, based on the polling that I've seen, I feel like even in more diverse populations, Warren will probably potentially do worse than like she did in the more white-based states like Iowa that are largely Caucasian. So, I don't know. I think even if I liked Warren, I don't think that she realistically has a shot at the nomination unless the DNC does something screwy. I agree. I think Warren coming at Bernie hurt her campaign a lot. I think the way in which she did it definitely soured me personally towards her. Getcha. This card's real sweet. This card is like very Blossoming Defense-esque vibes, which is great. That card was super playable. Alright, so that one's dead, but we get to draw a card here at least. Glass half full. Oh! Does this draw a card when I kill their thing with this? Is that how this works? That is totally how that works. Man, we should probably be playing more of that card, huh? That's pretty sick. I'm gonna just hold up protection here, actually, I think. I could escape this, but then I don't have Blessing up, and with two Blessings in my hand. Yeah, dead weight is legal as well, is also accurate. They have a drown in the lock here. It's gonna be kind of awkward if we get drowned. Yeah, that's super awkward, because, like, if I would have escaped the Sentinel's Eyes last turn, they wouldn't have been able to drown this, which sucks. But I guess if I would have escaped the Sentinel's Eyes, they would have drowned the Hateful Eidolon. Is something to consider. Well, yeah, all the non-Bernie candidates need to argue that whoever gets the plurality shouldn't get the nomination because Bernie's gonna get the most votes. So And all those other people up there who have been campaigning, their only shot to get the nomination, basically, is if someone who doesn't get the most votes gets the nomination. Bernie had that position. And I'm going to need you to cite a source on that. Come back in 10 minutes with a source. Please and thank you. As always, you can find the deck list by typing !deck in chat. In order to get the Democratic nomination, you have to have 51% of the delegates, not just a majority. Yes, Trump got elected without a majority of votes, and that's something that almost everyone on the Dem side is hammered on as being wrong. Which makes people like Buttigieg hypocrites, because I'm pretty sure there's a Buttigieg quote out there talking about the Electoral College being crap, because most Democrats have talked about the Electoral College being crap at various points. Because it is. So, like, those people up there who are like, the Electoral College is garbage and need to go, but then turned face and were like, whoever gets the most votes shouldn't get the nom, those people are kind of two-faced, in my opinion. They're self-serving. Super delegates come into play, Shine. And people who are in the race who won delegates can concede from the race and direct their delegates to go support someone else, I believe, as well. This is fine. Not amazing, but fine. Bottom of planes here. The actual answer is that the DNC, while better than the GOP in a magnitude of ways, is still far from a perfect organization. And if they actually wanted things to be handled democratically, they would have required all of these states running primaries to institute ranked choice voting in this election that has a historic number of people still running in it. I think Trump will win again. I think the people saying it's impossible to Trump to win again are unrealistic. I think anything is possible. I think if there's one thing 2016 taught us, it's all these political experts that talk about electability. They really don't understand what they're talking about. There's more art than science involved. This is an easy sack because it counters the Brazen Borrower. So again, when your adventure card doesn't resolve, it doesn't go on an adventure. So this just goes to the bin here. Theolerino. Ooh, Mastery Orb. I think we're on the last one, right? Yep, working our way down green. We played the red or green interventions in any decks yet. I think we had red intervention in something early, but neither of those cards are particularly powerful, no. I agree, Gold Dead Ringer. I think it is incredibly stupid on Wizards of the Coast part to not allow me to purchase every foil. I think allowing players to earn foils via the mastery tree and via end of season rewards is fine. It's fine to give out some cosmetics as prizes, but I also think that they should, if I want to give you actual money, you should give me the option to give you actual money for any cosmetic. Don't gate some of them. If you want to make some of them exorbitantly expensive, so it's like expensive for me to get some of them, so I really have to give you a pile of money, sure, more power to you, but don't just make it not purchasable, period. Capitalism is great for things like luxury hobbies. For video games that you play on the computer, capitalism is great and self-regulates just fine. For dictating who has access to healthcare, not so much. Well, these sacking don't actually make it bigger. They keep it the same because of all that glitters. I would like at least non-foil. Everybody should have access to non-foil healthcare at a minimum. Yeah, what was it? I think Punchworthy said it best. Raid really makes him appreciate how bad Wizards of the Coast is at taking his money, because they could definitely be a lot better. I think we're dead here, right? We're just gonna go super wide and draw a bunch of cards. Y'all do realize they were about to gain life, right? Y'all do realize they were about to attack me and gain 3 with this? They're at 4. They gain 4. They're going to 8, right? How do I win with an enchantment? I give pro green, pro white, and this stays a 5/5, so I lose an enchantment and I gain an enchantment. It had to be. I also can't give pro white because all that glitter falls off. So, yeah, I can't pro white because my enchantments leave. So definitely did not have outs. Protection's such a stain of a mechanic. Why does protection exist? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No, one of the many facets of protection is enchantments of the color you've gained protection from fall off. Noted on the shilling bumps, folks. Twitch chat lethal. Bum 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 ba da dum bum. How do you view that board? Top right behind my face, there's a view battlefield button. Top right. Click view battlefield. Look at our release ready feature rich client. Don't you love our release ready feature rich client? It's so good. At a news conference in Washington, Sanders said the Democratic convention in July would be contested because it was impossible for Secretary Clinton to reach a majority of delegates based on pledged delegates alone, and that she will need to... So, sure, that's accurate, Industrious Revolution. What part of that quote is him saying the person with the most votes shouldn't get the nomination? That quote doesn't say that. Well, you know... Here we are. You can fit so many eggs in this basket, chat. Sure, but he's not saying what you said he said, Industrious Revolution. You're trying to infer. You're right, she had the plurality. That is technically correct. Eidolon would be good. Eidolon would give us a little bit of insurance here, which would be nice. It's possible this mana base wants some Fabled Passages. Opponent's mana being a little bit awkward here could easily be our saving grace. Okay, Bogles, but not quite slippery enough. I don't think you're alone in that, Mint Mocha. I had been considering finding actual cards to like play a couple of NRG events, but like it's just like solidly off the menu at this point. Go basket, go. Do 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 do. Spin them tires, spin them tires. Are you dead yet? Yay! Kind of getting vibes that this deck is just worse than the green-white enchantments deck. That seems good enough. Oh, so it's almost like the quote from the article is him saying the person with the most votes should win, because he's consistent on what he says. Yeah. Yeah. Again, that's why the details really matter. All right, so I think my plan here... Oh, this costs 2 still. I guess we Starfield Mystic, and then next turn we can go Eidolon Angelic Gift. I guess if they tap this for mana, I might also Oathakaya next turn. We've had a good run lately. I don't know about that. We died a bunch on the ladder this morning. So if Hateful Eidolon dies here with the Angelic Gift on it, we trigger both of these and draw 2 cards, which should be okay. Okay. Opponent is slipping into something a little bit more comfortable here. Do I block? Do I block? I feel like I'm supposed to no blocks and then hope to draw a Glitters of my own. Thanks for the half a year, Nix. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Sticking to what you said and being consistent is only a bad thing if new evidence or information has been brought to light that shows you that your initial position is bad. I think it's important to allow people to be able to change what they've said or felt based on new information, but there's also a very particularly important balance of holding people accountable who are pivoting what they say or believe in based on things that are opportunistic rather than information driven is an important distinction, I think. All right, so with Archons of Sun's Grace drawn, I think I chump this turn and let it die to draw 2 cards, so that way I could hopefully find enchantments to trigger this. I could have used this to save my Hateful Eidolon there, but I kind of want to let it die to draw 2 cards. Perfect. We could maybe get out of this. This game's probably about to get silly. I just want people to know that when you're telling me I'm wrong about things, again, the same thing applies to politics that applies to Magic. I'm wrong all the time, but if you're telling me I'm wrong and you're not citing a source, you're gonna get timed out. It's just how this works. It's just how this works. This doubles the number of 1/1 counters each turn. Maybe I'm supposed to kill their 2/2 rather than the random 2/3 Destiny Spinner. That's probably the better choice. This thing's just gonna keep growing. Without a Citizen Champion in our deck, we really don't have a way to snowball velocity. This card just doesn't generate the card advantage that like Champion does, which is unfortunate. Blessing only targets... No, it does target any creature, but no, hexproof is opponent spells. I also can't target it because it's already hexproof. Yeah, champion. I feel like giving up champion in the enchantments deck is rough. Yep. All right. We are achieving peak staring contest. Coming to a cell phone near you in 2020. Oh. Yeah, why aren't the zombies enchantments? Why can't you create enchanted zombies, friendo? Flying Vigilance, no lifelink. All of their Archons have lifelink though. What's my out from here? I feel like without a way to draw a bunch of cards, I really just don't have anything really great to do. What are library counts? 39 to 41? But like, they're almost assuredly gonna outdraw me with this, right? And once they start outdrawing me with this, the game ends pretty quickly. Like, they're just waiting on an enchantment to snowball, right? They have trample? Oh, they have trample enchantments in their deck, yeah. Zace! Thanks for the sub gifty, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just don't have the tools to win from here. Let's stop wasting all of our time. My big question for this deck is that Paradise Druid the Promised End could have tried to win with the int overflow. Hey, go get it, Suna. This is fine, right? Statistically fires. I think I lead on this so I can protect my 2-drop. He almost assuredly Jeskai fires. It's a tough balance because, like, I want to play out my cards in a way that, like, hopefully they don't die, but also, like, giving them more time while playing around their interaction a little bit means that they have more time to get set up and kill me. which is tough. I think I just pass here. Next turn I get to do these and then smash them. We do have Agonizing Remorse on the board. As always, you can find the deck list on stream via the Stream Decker widget. Okay. Listen, our basket's got quite the bounty here to protect it, okay? My basket is quite lovely this time of year, chat. Thank you very much. Crunch. Now here's hoping they don't have like Brazen Borrower plus Teferi or double Brazen Borrower or something like that. Oh no! Oh no! I'm scared. I'm scared, chat. I'm scared. We do do I do pro blue or pro white? If they had Brazen Borrower, they would have done it in response, right? They could have Banishing Light or Teferi, though. White protects from Teferi and Banishing Light. Don't do white, I have all that glitters, right? Gotcha. I was testing you, chat. I was quizzing you to see who remembered the rules of protection that we talked about earlier on the stream. I'm very pleased to announce that many of you passed. All right, so untapped land here lets us double Oathakaya, the Sphinx of Foresight, and then attack. All right, I would like to kill Kenny. So long, Kenny. Don't time wipe me, bro. Don't do it. Have a heart. No shatter. No sweeper. All right, so they're dead. No, Kenrith can pay mana to gain a bunch of life, so that seems less than ideal. Eidolon, bro. Eidolon, Ted. All right, we gave him the business there. Successfully got under them. I think it's worth playing Abzan for this archetype. Quite possibly. The Heliod seem really underwhelming. I'm not sure that those are worth playing. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth playing black in this deck, honestly. Like, the green-white enchantments deck is one that we've played a ton of that's felt super reasonable. And I kind of don't know that I'm into these few black cards over the really powerful green cards. I don't think the mana is good enough for 3-color aggro, really. Well, we'll play some more games here, try and get a little bit more feel for it, but so far my My thoughts are definitely in the would rather be playing green-white basket. It's good to try different things, though. Sometimes they can surprise you. Yeah, I agree, Hive Mind. The green-white deck doesn't really have a problem drawing cards, as is. So I definitely want to play Agonizing Remorse here on 2 rather than this, because I want to try and clear a Clarion. Clarion, my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are gone. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Alright, so what painful way does this Eidolon plan to die in? Don't you scry no more. Sweet, that's actually the best way for it to die for us, because that puts it in the graveyard, so this Dorko gets to make a Zomboy. So many Zomboys and girls. Yeah, this is a card that we played a couple copies of in, what did we play it in? Oh, it was Black-White Calyx. It was like pretty reasonable in Black-White Calyx, all things considered. I think I'm supposed to put this on Hateful Eidolon because I want to diversify my threats that they're interested in killing. The music and supernatural slaps. Is that like... slaps being a positive comment is so weird to me. I don't get it. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong. It's a good thing, don't worry about it, alright? That's young people talk. Alright, so I assume we plan to sweep here. Yep. So I get to draw 4 cards. Get 3 Erebos triggers. And a Hateful Eidolon trigger. Alright, we finally drew a threat all the way at the end. I'm gonna take their Banishing Light here. And the reason why I'm taking Banishing Light is these are adventure creatures, and we can sack this if they try to kill it. So they lose their adventure creature. We're dead? I don't think we're dead. Without Erebos, we'd be dead, but with Erebos, I think we have a shot here. So like this targets itself. And then their Bone Crusher's gone and I draw a card. Hey, Singer. Don't be mean to the new mods. Makes me click extra. I believe Boomer is a zombie type in Left 4 Dead. I believe you. I believe that's accurate. You would target Erebos so they can't bounce. Okay, chat. So I know we're used to playing Hearthstone because Teferi's always around. But if I target Erebos with the Life's Bounty and they wanted to bounce the Erebos, they would bounce it in response to the Life's Bounty trigger. So targeting the Erebos is completely irrelevant because they can just respond to it. Responses to things in my Magic? This works with token creatures too, right? That's kind of sweet. Heliod was pretty underwhelming when we drew it, but Erebos has been impressive here. Super pleased with that so far. Papi! Gain a couple points of life. You know, a couple 215. Couple 215. Even if they have a sweeper here, I get to draw 4 cards, you know, no big. Look at that. Look at that. The person that said they felt we were dead. Erebos was like, nah, bro, I got this. I mean, are the aggressive draws this deck puts together that are good are very, very similar to the good aggressive draws out of the green-white enchantments deck. It's just this build doesn't draw cards while it does it, which is a little sad. Hey, Gray Bear, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. I appreciate you shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month and keeping me employed. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday wherever you're out in the world. For folks that are my regulars, by the way, and keep track of my schedule, Epic card game, the thing that we did a sponsor stream for on Tuesday, I thought we were gonna run late today and tomorrow doing some more of their stuff, but they had some technical issues with their Steam release, so I'm gonna be pushing that back to next week. Just gonna be doing my normal magical segment today. So, do I all that glitters here and then get sad if they have a light skewer? I think so. We just do this and smack them. Because if they don't have a way to kill this next turn, I get to go like Mystic, second all that glitters, then they can just never win. Casual turn 3, attack you for 9, gain 9. How's your mono red deck doing over there? How you doing, mono red? How you doing? Hey, Eddie Baya, thanks for the 3rd of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Erebos is slow. Heliod's probably just slow, honestly, right? Lifelink is cheating. Yeah, we have a lot of good lifelinkers here. Want to bring these in as ways to protect it. Maybe trim a Angelic Gift. Probably fine. Yeah, we'll talk about some of the details after this. I think Heliod's a really easy cut from this deck. I think you want more Erebos, if not in the main, definitely in the 75 for the sweeper-based matchups. That card single-handedly drug us kicking and screaming out of the Fires matchup. Again, I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure even if after you optimize a bit, what you're left with is necessarily better than the green-white enchantment deck that we've played a bunch of. He's dead, Jim. They murdered him. All right, hoping for a black source here. It is creature or planeswalker Gargantuan. It is not like Celestial Purge, where it targets any red or black card. I believe we have died. If we had a untapped land next turn, Archons of Sungrace can maybe drag us back in kicking and screaming since they stumbled, but things are not looking good for a hero here for sure. Alright. Take game 3 on the plate. Even if we found a swamp there was a good chance that like we were just too far gone since they hit their third land as well. Sure. One thing I do like about this build versus the green-white build is the slew of enchantment creatures this deck plays to make Karametra's Blessing a little bit better is really sweet. Hey, look at that. A 2-1 and a 2-2 on turn 2. Thanks, opponent. I appreciate you. That starts real good for us, huh? Their sequencing on removal spells really punishing them this game, which, to be fair, they kind of need to sequence the way they are because of Blessing, but we have just ways to get them in both directions, basically. Yeah, you're always welcome to post relevant Magic-related things in chat. Just please be aware that I personally won't be commenting on them, because I don't look at deck lists while I stream. You're afraid of a shock there? Listen, no gamble, no future. Wide-eyed, no fear, snap keeps. Man, this card's really good with this card as well. Feel like I want more of these in the 75 also if I were to play this. Really just want to like lean into the good black things that this deck is doing. Alright, so I go to 14. This dies. I hit them for 6. I get another 2-2 at end of turn. The fact that this, like, draws a card with the 1-drop is also very, very good. This, like, works a number of angles here for us. Well, they could shock it in response to me targeting it with Blessing. So, in response to me using Blessing, they could kill my thing. Because, again, this is Magic, not Hearthstone. I don't fault people at this point. We're generally playing Hearthstone on this stream, so like... more often than not, it's like responses. What are responses? Man, that game... I feel like games 1 and 3 here were like a kind of a clinic. I'm glad we played more games. Like, I feel like... Like, the first and third game there, I felt really highlighted some of the strengths of what this deck is doing really nicely. Harpy's a super impressive card when it gets going. Yeah, I think I agree with that, Hagmind. I have some ideas. We're going to play one more match with this, and after we finish the match, as always, we'll wrap up with some picking it apart and talking about what I'd change and why. And we'll do a little bit of that at the end here. Yeah, Agonizing Remorse is no slouch. Hey, thanks for the 23 months of support, Draven. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I'm gonna bottom this. Am I? I guess I can play this plus Eyes on 2. Let's try that. How is Gruul? Awful. Actually, maybe I play this on 2 instead of this. Cause like if they play like Robber of the Rich, I don't mind trading with Starfield Mystic, but I wouldn't really want to trade with this. Yeah, perfect. Never forget, this stream was pre-recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. I don't know. I actually think part of the potential issue with this build is there aren't enough pants in it. Like playing like more copies of Angelic Gift seems good. Yeah, Wargate was super rough. GG! The game is over. Alright, let's sideboard like we sideboard against the last red deck. Need one more cut here. This one. This one. Well, we're not playing the ladder, so no. Red aggro and blue white control are probably the two best archetypes in this current standard format. It's a variety of things, Wargy. How was Erebos? It was very good against Just Skyfires. Yep, mono red is a good win rate and wins or it loses quickly. Definitely good for farming gold and stuff like that. Alright, let's get my scry on here, looking for a black source. That'll do, pig. It's not what we wanted for Christmas, but it's definitely gonna get filed under good enough. Is it crazy to keep this? I feel like it's not. I feel like it's not. Because, like, even if they kill this Life's Bounty here, I get to go Hateful Eidolon, second all that glitters next turn. And if they don't kill it, I get to go Hateful Eidolon, second all that glitters, like being a good spot. Now the question is, do I go all in on this one or do I diversify? I think I'm supposed to go all in on this one. So I think I want to just lifelink for a bunch this turn, right? I think I put this here because if they cleave this one, I'm super happy with that. Yeah, me too. We try. So like getting cleave for 14, still just like in double-digit life total. Do you have a blocker or are you dead? This has to be a land or a blocker, right? If it's a land, they can play this and then have it as a blocker. And you did. You did. Things that don't block. That satyr right there. Let's finish. Finish the match. A nice cool 26. Nice cool 26. What happens to the private? What happens to private insurance if we get Medicare for all? Well, like most countries in the world that have single payer or government managed health insurance, there can be private insurance that supplements on top of that, but a large amount of it would go away. That's why in Medicare for All plans that both Sanders and Warren's have detailed on their policy pages, it includes transition plans to help people who work in that industry get trained and transition over to other work. And because in that scenario, the reason why they're losing their job is because Medicare for All is happening, it's not like they're going to risk going bankrupt because of health costs. Because they'll be covered like everyone. Alright, anywho, this deck. I feel like I want to lean into what we did well and kind of shy away from the things that didn't seem particularly good. So to start, Heliod felt really out of place here. This card's just really not good enough when it's just an enchantment that says you can give things lifelink and when you deal damage, gain a little bit of life. The Hateful Eidolon seemed like an interesting source of card advantage in addition to being an okay one-drop to slide all that glitters on. I feel like I would want to lean into triggering this card a little bit more often to generate card advantage with. So I feel like more Angelic Gift or more Mire's Grasp could be good. It's possible we want slightly more top end here as well. It's also possible that like we have too many lands in this deck and we want to bring the top end of our curve down a little bit. Like we've got 24 lands here, right? I think if we only have like 3 or 4 4-drops, we can probably cut a land from the setup here. And then probably I like that this one cantrips when it comes into play, which is nice. So I'd probably get up to 4 of those because its cost is pretty low. Round out with the last Mire's Grasp. I feel like something like this is probably where we start. Android, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. As far as the sideboard goes, I don't really know what Apostle of Purifying Light is doing. I feel like I'm not really into that. I feel like Devout Decree is probably... I don't know that this was even really necessary in our sideboard. Like, we boarded it in there and it was fine, but I kind of feel like I'd rather have Deadweight for that matchup just because this has much better synergy with this card as well. So, like, Deadweight, kill your thing on 1, turn 2, play Cacophony here is, like, a really reasonable curve, right? So I feel like I'd cut those and, like, get 3 Deadweights in here. So I think something like this as far as the main deck is concerned, and then you could round out this sideboard with extra copies of things, maybe even an extra Erebos for the sweeper-based matchup is probably fine. I'll export this and throw it on Stream Decker for people that want to kick the tires on this with some updates. If you're thinking about giving this list a try and you haven't played the green-white enchantment aggro before, I would heavily encourage you to give the green-white enchantment aggro list that's on my website a try as well. After playing those last couple of games against Mono Red, I'm not sure this is just worse. It might just be an instance of it being different, as a lot of things. There's a lot of different decks in this format. So, like, they do slightly different things in slightly different ways, as opposed to having this is always better or always worse comparison. So, yes, yeah, Deadweight and Mire's Grasp also trigger Hateful Eidolon. So, like, when you put these on their creatures, you draw cards. So it makes Hateful Eidolon cantrip your removal spells, which is really, really sweet. All right, what are we doing? We've got Esper Control coming up next, and it looks like because Red-Green was a dumpster fire and Pioneer was a dumpster fire, I actually have time to get to another standard deck today. So we're going to do Esper Control, and I think we're also going to do Teamer Fires today. I'm going to quick ad roll while we get set up for the next deck. When we get back in just a few minutes, we'll be playing some Esper Control. Don't go anywhere, folks. Thanks for hanging out today.